PoliTicKING, a show so new and fresh that our set isn't even finished yet. You may be wondering to yourself, what is PoliTicKING? Well, in short, it's insane news in an insane world. A show so serious that you should take none of it seriously. And I'm being serious about that. Or am I? So with that being said, time for some unserious news with a seriously unserious news report. Recently here in Louisiana, we had our gubernatorial election. 15 candidates were vying to see who would be the next to lead Louisiana. And with turnout at record levels, what's that? With turnout at record low levels, Jeff Landry wins without even needing a runoff. And we had our special PoliTicKING correspondents at the Landry headquarters as they read the results. Here's a look at the live celebration right now. We also had our PoliTicKING correspondents at the Wilson headquarters as results were being read. Here's a live look. A Landry administration has many progressives nervous about what that's going to look like for Louisiana. But I just have one thing to say. Come on. Does this guy really look like you should be nervous? Also making national news, a Walker High School honor student faced some trouble as they had their scholarship endorsement letter rescinded after a video surfaced of her twerking at a homecoming dance. And after much protest and backlash, she was reinstated to her campus positions. Meanwhile, the principal of Walker High School has decided to take a leave of absence for the remainder of the year. And for those of you at home who are wondering, leave of absence is white speak for I'm just going to take off and get paid for it. I, for one, am glad she's been reinstated to all of her campus leadership positions. And I'm glad that she's going to keep her scholarships. I mean, she was just doing a little twerking. What? Can't honor students just excite their inner city girl? I mean, all she was trying to do was show the boys of Walker how to get to Pound Town. Is that so wrong? And in scientific news, we experienced an eclipse here on Earth the other day. And in the middle of the day, you could see a sight to behold. I'm talking about the sun and the moon and the earth all just coming together and blacking each other out. But I'm a little confused. If the earth is flat, like flat earthers say, then how are they able to have an eclipse? You know what? Maybe we should reach out to our PoliTicKING flat earth scientific expert right now. Flat earth scientific expert, explain to us how you can have an eclipse while having a flat earth.
That you
I understand now. In things nobody asked for news, Governor Gavin Newsom just signed legislation making California the first state to have its own Black Amber Alert called Ebony Alert. This system is the same as the nationwide Amber Alerts, just more black. I guess because, you know. Now to the biggest news of the past week. This news rocked the world when this bomb was dropped. So many people were shocked. It was such a big and powerful bomb that everyone just had to offer their opinion on it. Thoughts and prayers, everything. That bomb? Jada Pinkett Smith's new book titled Worthy. Early reports say that this was only the second title of her book. Really, the first title was How to Keep Breaking Will Smith's Heart by Continuing to Talk About Tupac. And as she's making the rounds in the media, Pinkett Smith dropped such shocking revelations that back in 2016, amid reports that she had split from Will, that Chris Rock tried to ask her out for a date, in which reporters reached out to Chris and Chris said, "Keep my name out your mouth." She later goes on to say that she and Will have been separated since 2016 as well, and that they were kind of like they were divorced. I'm thinking to myself, well, if that's the case, then why did he slap Chris Rock? I'm not going to throw my career away on a woman that I ain't even with. She continues on the press tour by saying she used to sell drugs on the mean street of a different world. And then there's the Tupac news. She dropped news that Tupac got alopecia. If I was Tupac, I'd be mad as hell. Jada Pinkett is out here violating HIPAA just to sell books. And in the process of it, she shared all the good stuff. I don't even need to buy the book no more. I'll just watch all the interviews. They way more worthy of my time than the book is. And that's the Seriously Unserious News Report. Stay tuned where we will be talking with our first guest, the South Central Regional Administrator of the SBA, Ted James. It's politicking.
Boo! God, Landon. Fright Night is coming up. We're just a couple of weeks away. October 28th in Houma, Louisiana at the East Park Rec Center. It's gonna be a scary good night of wrestling.
That's right. If you're enjoying Unleashed, it's time for you to come out and see Pro Wrestling 225 live on our scariest night of the year. Fright Night in Houma, Louisiana. And it's going to be a great one, Landon, including a
no holds barred, no disqualification street fight.
That's right, and we have heavy-hitting matchups up and down the card, championship matches. You do not want to miss it. Fright Night, October 28th, Houma, Louisiana. Tickets are on sale now. Do not wait. Scoop them up.
Welcome back to a show whose host has a suit jacket that's tighter than the gubernatorial election. Politicking, yours truly, Tony King here, and as promised, we have the South Central Regional Administrator of the SBA, none other, Ted James. What's up, man?
My brother.
What's going
Appreciate
on,
you,
man?
dog. Appreciate you, man.
Hey, man, grateful to have you here.
I'm honored to be on the show.
Yes.
I would have been very upset
I'll say this.
after reading everything on the Advocate.
There we go.
Like,
there we go.
To see the publicity.
Yes.
And to not have been included, not because I feel just worthy, but I want to support you, brother.
I really appreciate that. And
Yeah.
to be honest, we had no other choice but you as the first guest.
I appreciate that.
So thank you once again.
Thank you.
All right, South Central Regional Administrator.
Yes, sir.
Of the SBA.
Yeah.
Tell us what that is.
What does that mean?
Yes.
It's funny. Everybody, when I got the job, oh, man, congratulations, congratulations. Now, what the hell
No clue.
do you do? And my answer was like, I don't know yet. But, you know, the SBA is the voice of America's small businesses, right?
Okay.
Our motto is to help businesses start, grow, or expand, right? What that means, I oversee 10 offices in 5 states, Louisiana, Arkansas, New Mexico, Oklahoma, and Texas.
Okay.
I am the boss of all of those folks, right? We, as an agency, help small businesses by 4 C's. Counseling.
Okay.
We do free counseling.
All right.
Technical assistance. Capital, we help them get money. Contracts, we help them get contracts with the federal government. And then we come in times of crisis.
Okay.
So as regional administrator, 50% of my job is talking to lenders and encouraging them to do SBA lending.
Okay.
And working with small businesses to empower them to be able to go after that money.
Okay.
Right?
So, small businesses, you help them get money.
And contracts.
And contracts.
Yeah.
Okay, we're not done with the set. Can you give us some money?
Yes. Yeah.
I'm gonna hold you to that.
Yeah. We will connect you with the resources that you need.
Yeah.
We have lenders here in Baton Rouge that I will send you my top 3. I'm not supposed to do that, but I do it anyway.
Yeah.
Because I know those lenders that are going to take a chance on young black people.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm obligated to do that.
So it's interesting that you say that. So a lot of small business owners, and a lot of people would be shocked to know that small business actually runs America's economy.
Most definitely.
It's not, just the top end, but it's really the 75, 80% of small business owners who actually, push America's economy. So for most people, especially young urban business owners, black business owners, city business owners, you talk about lending. Many of them are scared to go to banks because they may not have credit or their personal credit. They're afraid of that being pulled. What are some of the steps and some of the things they can take in order to actually get involved in America's economy and take advantage of some of the resources with the SBA?
The first thing I would do is say go to one of our small business development centers. Here in Baton Rouge, we have one in Southern and one in LSU.
Okay.
That counseling and technical assistance, they will walk you through making sure that your books are in order, right? Some of that probably needs to get started early
Yeah.
in our high
Yeah.
schools,
Yeah.
right? With real financial literacy,
Yeah.
so that when you go to that bank, you aren't as intimidated by it because you know your books are in order,
Yeah.
right? We help folks get their books in order,
Okay.
right? On the issue of credit, you didn't ask me this, but I'm gonna jump into it anyway.
No, go ahead,
As an administration, we recently changed the rules on SBA lending, right?
Okay.
So before June 1st, you could not go to an SBA lender with proof that you pay your rent on time, proof that you pay your cell phone bill on time.
okay.
If you didn't have the traditional credit,
Yeah.
mortgage,
Yeah.
credit card,
Yeah.
that pristine personal credit,
Yeah.
you couldn't do SBA lending. The Biden-Harris administration changed that, recognizing that we saw this huge gap in lending for Black and brown communities, startups, and in rural areas. So we have changed the definition of what credit worthy is, right? And even before that, we announced that we have almost doubled our lending in Black and brown communities. Let me stop saying Black and brown communities. To black business
folks.
owners
Yeah.
and Hispanic, right?
Right,
So
right,
we
right.
have seen huge strides over the past 2 years, and that was before the new lending changes. So I expect us to do more. But Black folks are risk averse, right?
Yeah.
You know, and honestly, I am sometimes challenged with pushing debt onto a small business because the debt can be the thing that can drown
sink
them,
it. Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And I know too many entrepreneurs that are paying the loan with the loan,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like, so we do a lot more what we call patient capital. So
Okay.
that capital that we're not going to give you a loan and then ask you to start paying on it in 35 days.
Right.
So we are being more aggressive in some of our patient capital, venture capital, and our investment size at the SBA as well.
So you talk about the Biden-Harris administration being central to some of these changes.
Most
a lot of
definitely.
times we hear people say, well, what are they doing?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, you know, we hear some of the people, some rappers,
Oh, yeah.
you know, talking about, you know, they prefer other administrations and things like that. Tell us a little bit more about what the Biden-Harris administration
Yeah.
has done in addition to that.
I'll tell you that, to that point before I answer the question, I get it all the time. I am very biased to Kamala Harris. I am in the administration now because of Kamala Harris, point
Yeah.
blank period, right? So I get very defensive. But I know that we don't do a good job of telling our story.
Yeah.
However, campaigning is sexy, right? Like, it's messy.
Yeah.
We tune into that.
Yeah, yeah.
Policy and governing is not sexy.
Yeah.
Right? So there is a responsibility that we have, you have,
Yeah.
to at least do something simple like, I'm gonna go follow her Instagram page,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna sign up to get the emails from the White House so that the information comes to me, right?
Yeah.
We don't put it out in a sexy manner like we should. Like, we
Yeah.
should have a TikTok, and that we should
Yeah.
be really, aggressively
Reaching
putting out
people where they are.
information. Exactly.
Yeah.
Some of those surrogates that we have during campaign time, you know, those people get paid to do a lot of that stuff,
Yeah.
right? You know, I don't have a budget at the SBA to pay a celebrity to go out that may have 5 million followers to talk about our programs, right? So if they are just heartfelt and want to do it, then we could put that information out. No excuses, just giving you all the bare bones.
Yeah.
I think especially for young people, the forgiving of the student loan, that is, you know, monumental.
Yeah, that's
right?
huge.
It's monumental. I hear it all the time. People call me at the SBA. Y'all forgiving them student loans. How about my PPP? How about my EIDL? How about my 2016 flood loan?
Yeah.
Right? So it's a pain in the butt sometimes for me
Yeah.
at the SBA. When you look at the number of Black and brown judges, right? When you look at funding for HBCUs at the SBA, I talk about these free business centers. We had 3 at HBCUs when Biden-Harris took office.
Yeah.
We have 9 now, right?
Wow.
That's not enough, right? But that's 3 times the amount that we had
Correct.
2 years ago because we're intentional about it. And most of the challenges and the changes that I'm talking about, the vice president, she has been very aggressive on the small business piece, right? You know, climate stuff, that stuff not sexy, right? You know, we haven't done enough on policing. The George Floyd Act is not law. We haven't done enough on voting rights, right? You know, we did some things on assault weapons. And, you know, and the other thing I think folks have to realize, and this is probably the fault of a candidate, candidates way too often go out there promising, I'm going to do all this stuff. But you got to get people to vote for that, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, and there's a difference between campaigning and governing, right?
Yeah.
And we, folks on my side, we don't do a good enough job of saying, look, I'm going to go try and do all this, but I'm gonna need some people to vote for
But
it
you
first,
can't.
right?
But you can't be honest and say, "Hey, I am campaigning on trying." Like that doesn't win elections. Like you got to get out there and you got to shake hands, kiss babies, and you got to lie some.
You know, I think that people have to really. I use the trusted thing, right? Like, and it's personal for me because when you trust somebody, you don't expect them to always be right.
Yeah.
You don't expect to always agree with them, but you expect that they listen to you,
Yeah.
right? And they at least weighed what you had to say before they made a decision, right?
Right.
And if they mess it up, folks that are elected got to just say, hey, I messed that up.
Yeah.
Right? And you can't do that when you campaign on, I'm going to go and change all this.
Yeah.
I'm going to be the
On
one
day
person.
one.
I'm going to be the one person
Yeah.
that's going to go in with this system that has been like this forever.
Yeah.
And I singularly, I'm going to go and change it, right? People want to hear that, though.
Yeah.
But you can't say that and then get mad from my side when the community asks questions about the things that haven't changed.
Okay, so you have told us about what they've done from a federal standpoint, okay? And you've told us about how sometimes campaigning, you have to say and do certain things, and you're telling us what some of the mistakes that some people who campaign are. You actually now are not sounding like a Southwestern regional administrator. South Central.
Yeah.
Regional administrator.
Yeah.
You're almost kind of sounding kind of like a politician almost.
Well, I am. It's very hard for me to shed that label, right?
Okay.
Because I was elected for 10 years, right? I am in my heart a public servant, period, point blank, right? I love the policy piece, so it's very hard for me, and I recognize I live in a bubble, right? Like I eat, sleep, and breathe politics. So I look at even the SBA as a campaign, right? And most folks, I was taught every day is a campaign, right?
Yeah.
Like every day you are either reminding the people why they voted for you, right?
Yeah.
Or challenging the people that didn't and trying to convince the people in the middle.
Yeah.
And I look at that with my SBA products, like you mentioned. A lot of people, I walk in and people don't trust the federal government for good reason. Right? So I am always saying, hey, I'm a guy you can trust. Here are examples of how our agency has helped. And you have to me, that's a campaign, right? Because you are trying to get people to buy into something.
So, okay, you said you are a public servant at heart. And of course, what you're doing at the SBA is definitely a public service that we're going to take advantage of.
Most definitely.
Are you saying that we will or will not ever see you in campaign, public servant, seeking your vote life?
Oh, I would never make that statement, right? I left the legislature excited about this, but I still, it's like I'm at the TV, like you watch a football game, you know, and it's, you know,
it's
I
like
ain't
you
never
can't
played
let it
football,
go.
right?
You
I
can't
ain't
let
never
it go.
played football,
Yeah.
but I could say, man, he should have thrown this ball to this. But with politics, when I'm yelling at the TV, I know that I could go do it and I could do it better, right?
Okay.
And I could work with people on a level that I don't see people working with folks now. And I love it too much to say that I'm never going to run for office again.
Yeah. Okay, so here's the thing. Now, you've talked about the federal government, you've talked about the SBA. How does that affect us here on a local level in Baton Rouge?
You know, you mentioned how important small businesses are to a local ecosystem, right? The more businesses that we can empower here with capital, the more people they can hire, right? That's buying power. The more money that we can spend here, right? Like we do a lot of recruiting these major corporations to come here, right? Not enough of investing in the people that are already here, right? Like this whole build it and then they'll come and give away the kitchen sink and you know you have to pay taxes. And I'm not saying those things are not important. However, I see that there are other cities, other counties, other parishes in just my 5 states that are doing more of investing in the smaller businesses, especially on the procurement side, right? Like it is a responsibility. We shouldn't have people, let me not say it. We should have a priority. We should have a practice. We should have a motto that we are going to make sure that city work, state work, done by people in that city to keep those tax dollars in that city. People in this state to keep those tax dollars in the state, right? But we got to empower the businesses to be able to really do it. And it takes the training and the opportunity.
So then, as a Baton Rouge citizen, who can we turn to help? How can we get help? Like, what do we do for help?
You know, I think that you come to us at the SBA, right? Here we have a MBDA.
Yeah.
That's the Minority Business Development Agency. They focus strictly on contracts.
Yeah.
Right? We have multiple chambers. We got 2 black chambers here. I see all of those folks doing events all of the time when we're talking about this.
Yeah.
The mayor's office, who we have a partnership, I signed a SAM agreement with my parish first, right? Before I did it with any other mayors, taking care of home first.
Yeah.
Well, we're talking about this, right? We are, first you got to get certified, and people get aggravated by it. I get aggravated by it. There's so many different certifications, but that's the litmus test, right?
Yeah.
You have to.
Yeah.
And people say, oh, I got to fill out an application to say that I'm black. I tell people, you ain't got to. but if you want to get a contract,
if you want this money,
right? But you ain't got to, right? But if I would advise you to, right? So there are so many organizations here doing it, right? Like, you know, the DBE program in the state. I worry about what's going to happen because I know the governor we have today was intentional about making sure that small businesses, black-owned businesses, were able to take advantage of procurement opportunities.
The governor that we have
Most
tomorrow.
definitely. The governor that's coming, I don't know, right? Like, I know what I know about him.
Yeah.
And, you know, I don't know if he's changed his stripes, but I don't see
He's
him
not
being
trusted.
He's not trusted.
There we go.
I don't see him being as intentional about ensuring that small businesses, black-owned businesses, Hispanic-owned businesses have an opportunity to build and grow by way of procurement opportunities with the state. And people, when I say that, people say, oh, he wants us to do set aside. I'm not saying a set aside. I'm saying being intentional about the fact that we are growing our economy. When you let a small business build capacity, they buy more equipment, right? They buy more materials, right? Those dollars go right back into the same communities to take advantage of a lot of the problems that we have. They employ
that money
people,
circulates,
right? They employ people, and you know, I know some people think that folks are just genuinely evil, and they might have some evil people out there. But by nature, if we don't empower people to earn something, they're gonna take it. Right? Period. So and you have to look at investing in small businesses and creating procurement opportunities because it's their tax dollars. So give them an opportunity to get their tax dollars back into their businesses. But you got to be intentional about it.
And even more than that, just sounds like, man, we just need some help, man. You know, I would just wish there was some way we could get some, you know.
I think help is on the way.
Help is on the way?
I think so.
Help is on the way.
We got a lot of opportunities that are out there. You know, where people see challenge, I see opportunity. And we got a lot of people here that are excited about what could be done. Here in Baton Rouge, here across the state, I see it every day in the SBA with, you know, the lending changes that I talked about, right? We have created a better landscape for black and brown people to get money from the SBA. Help is on the way.
So you're making that promise to me. Help is on the way.
Most definitely. I wake up every day.
Help is on the way. You heard it here, right here first. Ted James, the South Central Regional Administrator of the SBA. Remember, if you want more information about how you can take advantage of the great programs that the Biden-Harris administration is taking advantage of and had it set aside for you, make sure to log on to the SBA.gov.
SBA.gov.
SBA.gov. Now, meanwhile, I'm about to hit Ted up because we need some PPP money up in here. You see it. We're not done yet. Help is on the way. He said it himself. Stay tuned right here, Politicking with Tony King. Hey, so about the PPP loan.
Yes.
Help me out.
From classic cop shows to comedies, entertainment shows to retro movies, nature, sci-fi, and talk shows, plus original programming from local curators. WBTR 36 is your one-stop shop to watch the television you love. In connection with this TV, WBTR is your home for the content you crave. So sit back, relax, and tune into television that the entire family can enjoy. WBTR 36, Baton Rouge, television for the family.
Phoenix Air Spa provides its customers with a soothing environment, incomparable professional services, and extraordinary results. Relax, recharge, and re-emerge anew at Phoenix Air Spa. Always aesthetically you.
Welcome back to a show that is so factually incorrect, it has often been mistaken for network news. It's PoliTicKING. Yours truly, Tony King here, and as promised, my guest panelist for the evening, our first guest. This lady has been featured all over the globe. Recently, just pulled down her second and third Edward R. Murrow Awards. Please welcome the host, the principal, the founder of Unfiltered. We have Kiran Chawla. And joining us also, you can catch him performing all over the globe as well, and definitely make sure that you check out his hot new single, Throw It, featuring Level on all streaming platforms. Give it up for Johnny Hustle. All right, just to jump straight in. We have had a crazy week, haven't we? Louisiana is all over the globe. We had major news. Of course, the biggest news that we've had here is our gubernatorial election. And now we have Jeff Landry, governor-elect Jeff Landry, I should say. And a lot of people are very shocked that it didn't even come to a runoff. Are you all shocked?
I think so. I expected it to come down tight. I expected him to have like in the upper 40s.
Mm-hmm.
But when I saw 52%, I mean, that's huge. When a
yes.
gubernatorial candidate pulls it off outright, that's huge.
I mean, the thing that shocks me is that there were so many people who were in the election, right? We had, 15 candidates? And so I definitely thought that at some point, some of that would be split. I mean, I'm like you. I'm thinking 40%.
Exactly.
I'm thinking, what do you all think happened that really put him over the top? Was it just all his supporters, or was it?
I think he had a strong campaign. He started very, very, very early.
Mm-hmm.
Way outside of what is traditional.
Yeah.
But if you dig into the numbers, he didn't win his hometowns.
Really?
He did not win Baton Rouge. And I don't know about New Orleans, but his hometown, he didn't win it.
Really?
So the campaign worked, and a lot of people said that, hey, he pulled it out very early, way outside what is traditional.
Now, I'll say this. I was kind of shocked because it seemed like he almost threw his name in the hat as soon as John Bell Edwards won last time. Yeah. So that's very early. I know one thing that a lot of pundits have been saying is that, we're kind of taking the blame for this almost. It's like they're almost blaming the black vote. Of course, voter turnout was already at a historic low, 35% statewide. And, it wasn't all because of homecoming. It wasn't all because of homecoming. I just want to put that out there. It wasn't all because of homecoming. But
was what?
Homecoming.
Well, for the novice politician watchers like myself, it's homecoming fault. Southern shouldn't have played the game. But they had a poll on campus.
Really?
Yeah. And only 4, if I'm correct, I listen to the professionals.
Yeah.
I heard only 4 people voted at Southern University.
Wow.
So,
Well, but here's the thing. So a lot of times, whenever there's a situation like this, we want to point fingers. Who's to blame? Why is the voter turnout so low? And of course, the black vote has been. And I hate to keep pointing at you. I mean,
But to me, because just learning how I've been soaking up, knowledge about politics and everything. It's not like that. You don't do it that year.
Yeah.
That's something that's, we have to be proactive on instead of reactive. It's kind of hard to tell somebody a week before homecoming when they done bought all their stuff.
All the gear.
Yeah. They done paid to be on the float.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You already got your tailgating spot set up.
You already got, so I think it's,
Here's the thing.
we have to start it.
The thing I want to say though, and the reason that I say that it's not homecoming, is because traditionally black voters typically ride with the Democratic Party. We already know that, right? They like to say we're not a we're a monolith sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And so the thing is that when John Bell Edwards was elected in the last election, there were 91% voted for John Bell Edwards, and they said that this current Democratic nominee Sean Wilson only carried about 70.
I don't know the breakdown in that sense because I didn't look into that just yet, but I know he only pulled 22%.
Yeah.
He only pulled 22%.
Homecoming. It ain't all homecoming.
It's that many people at homecoming. That's what you.
Well, but here's the thing. But there were significant black voters who voted for Landry and other candidates. Do you think that could be a problem for the Democratic Party going forward? That maybe there's a crack in the stronghold that black voters typically have for them?
If we know who, like I say, and again, listening to the experts, we should.
You mean us? Listening to us here at PoliTicKIng.
I'm not going to say the M word. I'm not going to say the M word. I'm not going to say media, but listen to the experts. I just think, that'll help the people that's not following it that close, instead of popping it up on us like, okay, so 4 years from now, we not going to know who to be backing until 4 years from now or 2 years from now, whenever those voting cycles go around.
Well, but you kind of brought up a good point, though. You talked about the M word, which is media, and in which I have to say this. Congratulations. We have to say this on air.
Thank you.
If you don't know, the Edward R. Murrow Award is like the media Oscars. And this is your your second and third one. So essentially you're like the Tom Cruise of media here, right?
I don't know about all that now.
You but no, we want to give it up to you. But you said the media. And oftentimes, we get our cues from the media, but lately we don't do that. It's more social media.
Right.
It is.
So how much do you think social media has to blame? Because that can be one way to suppress the vote too, by saying, hey, your vote doesn't count, it don't matter, and really state and local elections are more important to me and to many people than national elections. They affect you more.
I agree. In fact, one of my coworkers and we had almost a 25-minute conversation, that's what I was telling you, about elections and the turnout. And it's interesting that our conversation today was that our generation, we feel, the two of us felt, yes, we work in news, so we're gung-ho that regardless, we're going to go vote.
Right.
But we just feel like it's probably our generation that's just saying, it doesn't really matter. So they're not showing up to the polls.
Yeah.
8 years ago, the poll that I go vote at, there's a line outside the school.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I'm weird, but I enjoy waiting in that line. Like, there's
I'm like
something
you,
fun about, yes, it's my turn to vote, yes.
You feel American.
Yes.
Yeah, no, really.
I remember waiting till I was old enough to go vote, and then Saturday I just walked right up. So
it's funny because my polling location has been a lot like that. And so I'll go in, I'll ask them, hey, how many people have come here? They'd be like, 7. I'd be like, 100?
No, 7.
7. And the thing is that I have some non-conventional ways that I think we can get people out to vote.
What?
And this is not gonna go well. I promise you it's not. Don't judge me.
Definitely, this is politics fitness.
I really believe there is one way to get people to get out to vote.
Spill it.
Take away the right.
To vote?
Yeah. Limit the right to vote. I guarantee you, we only want to do things that we can't do. I don't want to sound Vivek Ramaswamy. I don't want to do that. But if there is some way, if we can figure out some way to have some level of incentive to voting greater than just you putting your candidate in there, I guarantee you there will be lines. I guarantee you. And for our generation, we haven't had to do anything to vote. We haven't had to fight in any wars.
Agreed.
We haven't had to. We were born with it.
Yes.
I think certain generation, I'm not gonna point out generations, but they just lazy. Like they really don't care. Like because of what you're saying.
It comes so natural.
Because it comes so natural, and you did not have to earn it.
Also, do you think people think that because they think me not voting affects it more than someone, you know what I'm saying?
Than voting for the wrong candidate. Yeah.
Instead of okay, well, how they say, well, he ain't gonna win anyway.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
So
That's when the conversation stops with me.
So you bring up a good point. You say he ain't gonna win anyway. Do you think that? And I'm only saying Sean Wilson because he was the second largest vote getter. Do you think that there was some he ain't gonna win anyway thoughts concerning him to where it was not closer?
I mean,
I understand we don't want to say it.
Well, I'll say this, without divulging too much, being in news, the amount of tips that we get in, and granted, we're social media,
Yeah.
so we have a process to get tips in. The amount of tips that were coming in, it was sad to see that the agency he worked for, there were a lot of people upset.
Really?
Which surprised me.
That you think that maybe
But if
there was not more enthusiasm or support.
more support for their leader, but it's like a coworker of mine brought up this morning. He said everything that goes wrong on the roadways, even though Sean Wilson directly may not have the final, well, he should have final say, but he's the face of DOTD.
Yeah.
People are sick and tired of Baton Rouge traffic.
Yes.
People are sick and tired of, are we ever going to get a new bridge?
Yeah.
Well, who's to blame for all of that? It's easy to say, oh, it's Sean Wilson's fault. It's Sean Wilson's fault.
Well, I can't lie. I ain't gonna lie. I hit a pothole about 3 weeks ago and I blamed him.
See?
So
See? I rest my case. My girl. I need a mic.
oh, it's filled with potholes.
I sell places. But I stood strong with my vote, though.
But that's the thing. The biggest thing is that we always want to encourage people to get out to vote, exercise your right to vote. And I think that we have to figure something out to at least push people to start to take it a little bit more seriously. And then also, too, we have to understand that as we get older, sometimes we kind of take it a little bit more serious.
I've taken it serious from the very beginning, but again, I think I've been in news for so long that I knew when I was old enough that this is something I get to do.
Yeah.
Not have to do.
Yeah.
I get to do this, and it is my right as an American to do this, whereas people in other countries, you don't have that option.
So, and about that, and it kind of goes back to what I was talking about in terms of earning the right to vote. Not saying earning the right to vote, but just understanding this, that not everyone was born with the right to vote. And so, I mean, my parents are a little older. You know, they remember, you know, some of the hoops and games and things that came about with the right to vote, where actually getting the right to vote actually could have meant your life. And so, I think there was a difference in the importance to voting that was instilled in me and my family versus, you know, some other people. They let me know that, hey, they had to count bubbles in soap to vote. My parents are older, so they had me older. I'm just saying. But with all that being said, we'll talk more about that and many more topics right here, Politicking with Tony King.
Advertising and operating a business go hand in hand. Mad Game Entertainment has a long, detailed history of working within clients' budgets and delivering big results. Mad Game helped launch the popular Go Vote app. We've been involved with several successful political campaigns. We assist the everyday marketing needs for small businesses and many other organizations. We custom fit marketing plans for the largest budget and the most modest. We look forward to enhancing your presence in your industry.
Phoenix Air Spa provides its customers with a soothing environment and comparable professional services. And extraordinary results. Relax, recharge, and re-emerge anew at Phoenix Air Spa, always aesthetically you.
Welcome back to a show so politically incorrect, even my mama tried to get me canceled. We are here with our guests, Kiran, Johnny, and we're still talking about it. Louisiana making national news. We've already talked about the gubernatorial election, but we had something else that hit that was like top of line. It made everywhere. TMZ, Washington Post, the New York Times, New York Post. It literally was everywhere. And that is the Walker High School student who was reprimanded, disciplined, even had her future jeopardized, all because of some on-camera behavior. But the behavior wasn't what we would think the behavior would be. She was just dancing.
At a private party.
At a private party away from, it was not a school party. It's a private party on her own time. How do y'all feel about that?
Her mother was present there too, watching it.
The dancing dolls dance, they do that dance during halftime.
That's what so many people have said.
Like,
that cheerleading is worse than what she was
way
doing.
worse.
My daughter's a cheerleader, and you know I cheer, I clap off, but there'd be some of them moves I'd be like,
whoa,
taking yours. Y'all can't graduate.
That's really what was jeopardized, her entire future, all because. And then here's the worst part about it: it wasn't like she wasn't trying to show him to go to Pound Town.
She wasn't on the handstand.
No, it wasn't. You know, she wasn't like she was a city girl. It was a basic just. Let me ask this: what more do you think came into that decision for that principal to issue that type of discipline?
Religion is, I know for a fact that the conversations over religion is what made him end up, if you want to call it, resigning, retiring, whatever is coming, on leave. That the fact that he brought up religion.
Well, it's always something else underlying with me, so I don't know if.
What is that?
I don't know. I ain't get no expert opinion, but something else had to happen. Maybe he was, you know, I don't know.
Here's the thing: religion. What? I'm trying to find what, from a religious standpoint, was so bad that she did. I mean, is there a "thou shalt not twerk" in the Bible?
She didn't twerk though.
That's the bad part.
It was the wrong song, man. If it was Kurt Franklin, it would be different.
So you think that it had something to do with the song, the music?
Well, because the song, the caption that the DJ had posted was, what's the song? The St. Pierre.
Forgot the title of that song.
But his last name is St. Pierre.
Right.
So there's the idea of, did he take it as the DJ was personally saying, you're not welcome here, you can't come here, something like that.
So he took it as a personal.
I don't know that.
You're right. But it could possibly, somebody could try to make that type of correlation.
But I'll tell you this, that the DJ even felt terrible. He reached out to us directly and said, I want to interview.
Wow.
I mean, we put the story out, I think Thursday night, Friday morning, he was not on campus, and an investigation was launched. Sunday, an apology letter comes out from him. Monday, he's gone.
Well, gone-ish, because he's on leave.
He's on leave.
On leave is like French for like, I'm gonna take off but still get paid.
Well, yeah, he's definitely getting paid, but what I'm assuming is happening through inside sources is that he's probably burning his sick time and leave time. And there is the controversy, well, it was a mistake. So should he have to give up his entire retirement, his future, over one mistake? So Liz is very torn on that subject matter, that, well, he should be able to use his sick time and vacation time, hence the leave, and at the end of the school year, he's retiring.
So he doesn't want his future jeopardized for a mistake. Where have I heard that before? That's interesting. So with that, you said Livingston, the area, you know, most of the citizens, they're kind of torn.
They are. I mean, it's become, I didn't expect this, that it would become international news at this point now.
Right.
He issued an apology, he stepped down, however you want to phrase it, it's semantics.
Right.
Resigned, stepped down, on leave, to me, he's no longer at the school, period.
And will not be coming back.
And he's not coming back, allegedly.
Yeah.
I'm going to say the word allegedly.
Right.
Because I've been told that he cannot work in Livingston Parish schools, allegedly.
Oh, because of something Too Loud Crew started?
She wasn't twerking. That's the worst part about it. And everybody else in the building, those were struggle twerks. Those were Taylor Swift twerks. Like those were, I'm sorry, Swifties, do not flood my inbox. But that was a struggle at best.
And it was such a short, quick video.
It really was much ado about nothing.
I will say this, that I've had a few people come after me and say, you need to get the whole story. Well, we'd love to. We've tried him. We've tried the superintendent.
So we ain't found out if it was like no lines on the table.
What is the whole story? What could the whole story be?
That's what I'm saying. So what is the other side of
They
the
probably
story?
found some lines on the table,
There's
some bags in the back. Something other happened, bro.
It's not. I believe that it's funny how the tables turn where now he's asking for the same grace that should have been extended to the student.
Right.
I just think that that's really kind of interesting and ironic. Now you're in that seat, but hey, I wish him all the luck. You know,
No more twerking that play reps.
it's just that you can't come back to Walker. Not now. But also keeping it in with that, and not just with Louisiana news. We all know about the giant, major news that has taken place this past week that has all of America sending thoughts and prayers. And that bomb that was just dropped, and our heart just went to all those that were affected. And no, I'm not talking about the situation in the Middle East. I'm talking about
my favorite actor ever, bro.
I'm talking about Jada Pinkett Smith's new book. It's titled Worthy, in which she makes a lot of claims. She's on her press tour right now, and she is going forward, and she is just letting us know everything that's in this book. I mean, everything from Tupac is her soulmate, and you know he proposed, and her and Will Smith weren't even together, and Chris Rock tried to date her, and just
I stopped liking Jada Pinkett when she almost burned the dorm down on Different World. I'm gonna keep it real. And I knew from then that it was something odd about her, but then Tupac saved her. Cause I'm like, okay, Pac like her, I can like her. She bad.
Well, here's the point that I have about that. I think that she is not telling the truth. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna throw that out there. I have no evidence. I believe, and the reason that I believe that is because if Tupac versus, okay, first of all, when you say someone is a soulmate, what comes to mind when you think soulmate?
Should be who you're with.
That's who you're with.
So then why would you not be with him and let Will Smith go? Not only that, to me, if that's your soulmate, then how do you explain Will Smith getting that pissed off at Chris Rock? Or was that a show too, to sell a show that nobody's watching anymore?
That's my point. The point is that you had plenty of time to be with Tupac. Tupac, like literally, you got married while Tupac was still alive. And how can you go down the aisle and this is your soulmate, and you constantly say it, and you say, oh, he proposed to me. Oh, this is the love of my life. You have your kids writing letters to a man that they never met, who wasn't even alive when they were born. At some point, you kind of got to start to feel sorry for Will Smith at some point.
I want to hear from him. Maybe that's the reporter in me, but I need to hear from Will Smith. What's his response to all this?
On the realness side, I feel sorry for, again, my favorite actor ever. Because, you know, Will Smith, he brought me out the hood. If it weren't for Will Smith and LL Cool J, I'd still be in Dixon. I saw the light when I saw them. But on the flip side, we all talk about entertainment in Hollywood.
Yes.
He may just be doing this for her, bro.
He
married, ain't know it. Okay.
Are we sure they're married?
That's what I'm about to say. With everything standing. If he already knew, okay, well, I'm going up with this one. He gonna do whatever he can to satisfy. So to sell this book, all right, do this. I won't talk about this. I won't talk about that. But I'm disappointed in my dog, though. I'm disappointed in my dog.
Well, here's the biggest issue that I have. Okay, and some things just aren't lining up. Apparently, there was a rumor that came out that said that they were separating, and this was around 2016. Mm-hmm. And Chris Rock, according to Jada, called her and said, "Hey, I'd like to take you out." And she's like, "Wait, I'm married." And he's like, "Wait, so those reports aren't true?" And she's like, "No." And he's like, really embarrassed. Okay, that's cool. That's 2016. But she also says that they've been separated since
2013.
2016. So
I would have divorced her too after G.I. Jane too.
Well, which one is it?
I would have divorced her too. And also, bro, she real life the reason the bots got into on Matrix 2. Remember how the...
You're right. You know what?
Y'all tripping, see, y'all going too far in the realism. These people been in Hollywood too long. That's where they at with the stuff, Tony. I'm serious, man.
But here's the thing. Here's the point, though, right? She says they haven't been together since 2016. Yet on his biggest night, where he wins an Oscar, he's up for an Oscar. He's favorite. He had already won all of the awards leading up. He's the favorite. This is a culmination of his career, 30 years in Hollywood. And right before it happens, you all aren't together. He says something to you, and he walks up there and throws it all away, and y'all aren't together? I don't believe it. I don't buy it.
I don't. I feel like maybe it's one of those that maybe his soulmate is her. Maybe she doesn't want to be with him, but they don't want to be that Hollywood statistic of another divorce or a divorced couple. I don't know.
Will should have stayed with Neil Long, bro.
You can't separate between.
For real, he should have stayed with Neil Long. You see what happened to Neil Long, you see what happened to Will Smith. He shouldn't have broke up with her on the tip. I'm done, bro.
Maybe there's still hope for Will and Neil. Definitely stick around. We have more that we're going to talk about right here. We're going to continue having fun. It's Politicking. Tony King.
With the rise of racism and peace being taken from the world, it leaves a person to wonder, what's going on in the world? Sadly, these things are not going away. Read The Dog Whistleblower to find the link between racism and the coming Armageddon.
I'm your host, Tony King, Politicking right here, and we're down to our final segment with our special guests, Kiran and Johnny. Real quick, just to follow up on the end of the Jada talk. The thing that really made me upset was the fact that she started injecting a little bit too much Tupac. Like, you start telling me that Tupac had alopecias like you. Like, how bad do you want to sell this book that you're willing to violate HIPAA? And I understand you're not a doctor, but good Lord, man, he told you that in confidence. Tupac is looking down at you like, woman, would you keep my name out your mouth? Like, at some point, man. And then she's telling us everything that's in the book.
I'm gonna say this. Tupac can't be with Jada Pinkett and Boosie. Like, cause Boosie say he'd be Tupac's soldier, right?
Right.
That ain't gonna mix, bro. Cause you know Boosie, like that's bad rules.
I'm gonna say this. At this point, she shared everything in the book.
Why are you even gonna read it or buy it?
I'm not reading that book. She already read it to me already.
Give me the Cliff Note version.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm still not buying it. But you can buy it. And, but again, I want to give a special thanks to our guests, Kiran and Johnny. Kiran, tell us more about Unfiltered real quick.
What would you like to know?
Well, just how everyone can get the app, why they need this.
The app is on your the App Store for the Apple, Apple, iPhone, and Android. We've got the website. We're on all social media platforms. And 2.5 years in, and
3 Edward R. Murrow Awards later. Congratulations again. Yes.
Loving what we're doing.
Yes, turn those notifications on. Unfiltered with Kiran. Definitely keep you updated. Johnny.
I'm downloading the app.
we gonna be a minute.
Got the single.
Yes, throw it.
Pushing it with the Club Banker King himself level. Produced by Player Pizzle. You know, he got some national credits. 2 Chainz, Lil Wayne, all that. I'm just, in the community, man, trying to help people not make the mistakes I made as an artist as well, and, tap in more with the community and the politics, try to follow y'all. Once I feel like once I got the platform like y'all, I gotta use it for the good,
Make sure that you stream Throw It featuring Level. Johnny Hustle, Kiran, definitely thank you so much. Stick around, we have Top 5 coming up right here. Politicking, Tony King.
We have got to find new ways to increase our revenue.
Sir, we can increase our revenue sales by enhancing our social media presence.
Yeah, so does anybody else have an idea?
We can clearly increase our revenue sales by enhancing our social media presence.
Great idea.
Has this ever happened to you?
Make a bold statement. Upgrade your wardrobe at Super Cool Fashions.
Thanks, Super Cool.
Super Cool Fashions located at 6180 Airline Highway.
The top 5 things not to do on Halloween. Coming in at number 5, and this is for my super religious folks. Stop judging people because they want to dress up and go peddle for candy. And you ain't no better than me just because you don't celebrate Halloween. And newsflash, if you don't celebrate Halloween, but you go to your church Hallelujah Night Festival on Halloween and dress up and get candy, guess what? You celebrate Halloween. Coming in at number 4, top 5 things to stop doing on Halloween. Stop with the slutty costumes. Every year we have to watch a group of women get dressed up as a slutty pumpkin or a slutty nurse or wait, I think I kind of like that one. And never mind, scratch that one. Coming in at number 3, top 5 things to stop doing on Halloween. Stop with the cultural appropriation. It's tired and it's old. The only time you should ever dress like this is if you're in the Village People and singing YMCA. Coming in at number 2, top 5 things to stop doing on Halloween. Stop eating candy corn. Who are these people that are keeping this monstrosity of candy corn in business? Who are these psychopaths? I'm just saying, candy corn tastes like erasers with syrup on them. And don't ask me why I know how that tastes. Just stop eating it. And definitely stop giving it away to trick-or-treaters. If somebody gave me candy corn for Halloween, I just have to assume you hate me. And then in that case, we gotta fight. And coming in at number 1, the top 5 things to stop doing on Halloween. Stop going to Halloween dressed up in blackface. Come on, man. Y'all still doing this? Every year we got to watch somebody apologize after getting canceled and fired because they want to go to Halloween as Serena Williams. Listen, white folks, y'all get to do everything in the world. Everything. Why you want to be black? Hell, I'm trying to go to Halloween and every day after that is you. And there you have it. Today's top 5. Remember, every week right here, Politicking with Tony King, we have all the fun, irreverent news that you want. And just remember, take us as seriously as you need to take us as unserious. As serious as unseriously as you can. Because seriously, sometimes, I don't know what the hell I'm saying. It's Politicking with Tony King. We out.